Hey, let me show you how we made this amazing YZ250FX even a little bit better. Hey, what's up guys, Rado here. This is my 2025 YZ250FX with 45 hours on. I kept it in a stock form for 45 hours. I rode it hard, I rode it at the track, I rode it at the trails, I rode it at the big, open tracks, sand tracks, and all kinds of different terrains. And I put a lot of time, 45 hours, in like 2-3 months on this bike. And I absolutely love how this thing handles. Now, with 45 hours of riding, there is some wear and tear on the parts on the bike, and we get to know that bike a little bit better. So there are a couple things we wanted to tweak a little bit. And the most important thing for this thing would be definitely the suspension. I'm currently sitting at like 210 pounds, which is like a little bit over 90 kilo. And this 250 was not sprung for that kind of weight. Also, it was not done for motocross. And lately, judging by the 45 hours of my time on the bike, I did spend a lot of time on a track, and I was launching it on the jumps. I have my own track where I go and ride quite often, and sometimes I go to Kauai, I go to Glen Helen, and you have a lot of jumps there. I need to have suspension that is dialed in a little bit more for the motocross riding, yet still be good for that trail off-road riding. So we went to Racetech, and Racetech went through the suspension. This is amazing suspension stack KYP. But again, if you want to use it for the motocross, you need to sprung up a little bit. So we did a different springs, different settings, and also different shock. We set the sag to my weight and all that according to their specification the Racetech gave us. So now this thing should be really good, should be handling really good on the motocross track, and also be plush enough for those long days on the trail. So number one mod for this thing was a Racetech suspension. That's hands down the most important for this build. Now we keep going forward. Reckless clutch, 45 hours on this thing. I did some hill climbs, I was feathering that clutch, kind of punishing it, asking a little bit too much from this 250 with my 210 pounds on it. But I made all the hills, I had a lot of fun, but I did abuse the clutch quite a bit in those 45 hours. It was still running fine, I didn't have to change it, but because we put brand new Reckless torque drive in this bike, so we are good for another 50-70 hours of pure abuse. And I'm gonna ride this thing in the summer more on the motocross tracks because they keep them watered in California, so you can go and ride there. A little bit less off-road, and I'm expecting to be on the clutch quite a bit. On these 250s, when you're coming out of the turns on the track and when you ride your moto, you do feather the clutch quite a bit. So brand new Reckless torque drive in it should be pretty good. Now, when we were working on everything, we also went in and put some nice works connection pieces, some blue anodized and black anodized, just to make it stand out a little bit, make it look a little bit better. I always want to have bike looking, good and kind of personalized and also a little bit unique. So we team up again with MX Plastics and Decal MX. So all the plastics were replaced that had some scratches. And then we went with this blue camo design from Decal MX, which I absolutely love. I really love how everything looks. I don't know about you guys, but I think it looks absolutely amazing. I'll show you more pictures from different angles, and you let me know below in the comments how you like this blue camo. I think it is really great looking bike. Another thing we did is this FMF slip on. We need a little bit more power, and also we need to be able to ride legally off-road. So this thing comes with a spark arrestor. You can easily remove it. So if I'm going on a track, I'm taking that thing out. To complete the design of Decal MX and MX Plastics, Motoseat always work with us on these builds. So we have a matching seat cover, nicely ripped, so I'm not sliding all over the place. And Motoseat also does this little piece right here. So when you get a seat cover from Motoseat, it's not only for the seat, but it's also for this little piece. So everything is matching one color. It's looking pretty good. Of course, after 45 hours, your tires are shot. So we went with brand new tires for front and rear. We went with a Dunlop 8082, which is a new design off-road tire. Has a little V shape. It looks like a little scoop in the back, so you can run it on a flat or you can run it on that scoop side. I usually run it on a scoop side. It has really good grip on the trails, and also when you take it to the track, you can feel that this tire is pushing you forward. For the front, we also run 8082 front tire. This thing is good for the track, for the trails. It's a nice knobby pattern. Again, after 45 hours, you have chain, sprocket, rear and front sprocket that needs to be replaced. So we went with the Pro X We kept the gearing that is stuck on this bike because I have zero complaints on this thing. 6 gears, wide ratio, runs great. I don't want to change gearing on this thing, it's really good. Now we went with the Pro X front, rear, and the chain is sealed since this thing is also for off-road riding. You know, we went ahead and took one page from KTM book and we installed this rubber piece that is holding a kickstand in upright position. You can buy this rubber piece off Rocky Mountain ATV or any other OEM website. They're selling OEM stuff from KTM. Just look the number plate, order it. It's not expensive. Drill the hole and then push it through the other way, and then you have a nice little thing that will keep your kickstand in upright position, keep it safe. It will not come down on you when you're on a track or even when you ride aggressive on the trails. I think it's pretty cool. Makes the whole thing just a little bit better. Enduro Engineering has this really good design for the handguards. These are not wrap around, but they still come with a really strong mount over here. So they should give us good protection. Even if we drop the bike, it should still be okay. Of course, we're riding ODI bars and ODI lock-on grips. That's always what we use on the bikes. They are super easy to install. They last a long time and feel pretty good too. When I say we build this bike, I mean Jay Clark from Dirt Bike TV and myself. We often work on these builds together and also test bikes together. And this one is not an exception. Jay helped me a lot. And also in this video right here, Jay actually took this YZ250FX on very epic trail ride in Idaho, up in the mountain, 10,000 elevation for like 3 days, riding and testing the bike, the suspension, the setting and all that. Suspension feel pretty good on this ride, even though it is set much stiffer and also on my 210 pounds weight. Right now it is in between the trail and the track as we're talking about. So Jay took it for these 3 days and came back and reported that the bike felt amazing and he had blast riding this thing up in the mountains at the elevation. Now let's jump on the track. This is me riding at Glen Helen and I'm testing the suspension. This is first time for me to be on the bike after the build was done, and I'm trying to hit all the jumps, launch the bike, and as you can see, I'm trying to catch this guy in front of me, pass him, and at the same time, you know, launch on the jumps and see how this bike feels. So let's see how it goes. Alright my friends, I'm glad to report that the bike feels absolutely amazing and I was able to pass the guy on the bike in front of me. We were not really racing, but it always feels good if you can go a little bit faster than the guy ahead of you. Anyway, the bike felt amazing. I was launching all the jumps, I was doing everything I wanted to do. These Yamahas, they feel just really good in my hands, felt good in the turns, and I had blast to be finally back on the track because in these summer months I was busy with some other stuff, so finally I had some time to hit the track and I had a blast. Now this was filmed on the wet track, but I also did about 10 or 15 minutes moto on the main track at Glen Helen. and that was even more blah. So you cannot go wrong with YZ250FX. You can take the same bike on the amazing epic trail trip to 10,000 feet elevation for like 3 days and ride on the trails, lug it in the second, third gear, and then you come back home and you take the same bike on the Glen Helen, that is the national track, and you can launch all those jumps, you can hit up all those hills at Glen Helen and feel absolutely amazing. There is nothing left on the table. The bike really delivers, and now with the suspension that has been, you know, updated for my skills, weight, and for my riding, I feel really good. So definitely we are going to be putting way more time on this YZ250FX this summer. Alright guys, so that's about it for this video. Let me know below in the comments how you like this build, how you like the video, and don't forget, whatever you do, stay motivated. See you guys later.